Hey everyone, I'm Miles Ellison.
And I'm Cambria Shaw.
Today we're doing a deep dive into, well, a really classic American poem. It's been grabbing readers for, over a century now?
Easily, yeah.
It's short, but it packs a serious punch, especially about how we see the world and maybe, how we see each other.
Absolutely.
Right.
We're talking about Richard Cory, written by Edwin Arlington Robinson way back in 1896.
Right, published 1897.
Yeah. And Robinson, he just had this incredible knack, didn't he?
Totally.
For these really concise, almost like miniature dramas, all about people in these small New England villages.
It's like Tilbury Town in this poem.
Tilbury Town, exactly. Which was fictional, but apparently really close to Gardner, Maine, where Robinson actually grew up.
Interesting. So our mission today really is to peel back the layers here. We want to get into what it's showing us about, human nature, perception, and that tricky thing called happiness.
Yeah, what's Robinson actually trying to tell us in just these, 16 lines?
Okay, let's jump in.
Sure.
How does it start? It puts us right there with the townspeople, doesn't it? The wee people on the pavement.
Right away. They're watching this guy. The opening lines kind of set it all up.
Whenever Richard Cory went downtown, wee people on the pavement looked at him.
See, there's this intense focus immediately. They're not just glancing, they're looking. They're like fixated whenever he shows up. He just has this aura.
Definitely commands attention. And the way they describe him, so deliberate. He was a gentleman from soul to crown, clean-favored and imperially slim.
A gentleman from soul to crown. I mean, that's more than just nice shoes and a hat. Or...
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
It's like breeding, civility, grace, something innate.
And soul to crown. It just screams royalty, doesn't it? Like a king, head to toe. That imagery.
Exactly. That kingly vibe is there right from the start.
And it keeps going with imperially slim.
Yeah.
So clean-favored. Okay, he's good-looking, attractive.
Right.
But adding imperially, again, it's aristocracy, it's regal, almost like an unattainable ideal, makes him sound incredibly alluring.
So physically, he sounds perfect.
Yeah.
What about, how he acted, how he carried himself? The poem goes on, and he was always quietly arrayed.
Okay, quietly arrayed. So nice clothes, but understated. Good taste.
Not flashy.
No, but it's quality. And then this line, and he was always human when he talked. That's fascinating, isn't it?
It really is. It tells you he wasn't, stuck up or distant.
Right. He actually talked to people. He was approachable on some level.
But even just him saying good morning, listen to this. But still, he fluttered pulses when he said good morning, and he glittered when he walked.
Wow. Even a simple good morning made hearts beat faster.
Yeah. It just shows how powerful his presence was, even in these tiny interactions.
And the glittered when he walked? What do you think that is, literally?
Well, it feels like the clearest sign of his wealth, right? He's wearing jewelry, maybe, a watch chain, cufflinks, something catching the light.
Yeah, adorned with his status. And the poem doesn't beat around the bush about it either. It says it straight out.
And he was rich, yes, richer than a king.
Damn. There's the king thing again, but tied directly to money this time. Immense wealth.
And admirably schooled in every grace.
That just seals the deal, doesn't it? The outward perfection, perfect manners, knew how to act in any situation, just flawless.
So if you put all that together, how did the townspeople see him? What was the final verdict?
Well, the poem sums it up perfectly.
On fine, we thought that he was everything to make us wish that we were in his place.
He was it. The absolute embodiment of success, happiness, everything they wanted.
Wealth, looks, manners seemed nice enough, but still special.
Yeah. He was the dream, the person they thought had it all figured out, the ideal they wish they could be.
Okay, so hold that image of Richard Cory. Now let's pivot to the townspeople themselves, the ones doing the watching. The poem shifts perspective right after that line.
And it's a stark contrast. So on we worked and waited for the light and went without the meat and cursed the bread.
Ooh, that's the daily grind, isn't it? You can feel it.
Yeah. These are people working hard, probably struggling. Check to check, maybe.
Waiting for the light.
Yeah.
Just hoping things get better, some kind of relief.
Seems like it. Waiting for a break, maybe. A future that feels just out of reach.
Mm.
And they're not just putting up with it, they're cursing the bread.
That's real frustration. Deep unhappiness with their situation. Going without basics, like meat.
Exactly. Constant hard work, maybe poverty, feeling the weight of it all. And then they look at Richard Cory,
The guy who glittered.
who was richer than a king, who
Yeah.
had it all from their perspective. And they just desperately wish they could swap lives.
Seeing his perfection probably made their own struggles feel even worse.
You'd think so.
Yeah.
And then comes the twist. The moment that just shatters that entire image, the final two lines.
It hits like a ton of bricks.
And Richard Cory, one calm summer night, went home and put a bullet through his head.
Just like that. The man who seemed perfect, the one everyone envied.
Takes his own life. It's so sudden, so devastating in the context of the poem.
And the timing. One calm summer night. It's kind of unsettling.
It is, isn't it? You might almost expect, a dark, stormy winter cliche for something like this.
Right. Despair matches the weather.
But no. Robinson chooses calm summer. Some people suggest maybe that adds a weird kind of dignity.
Oh, so?
Like, even in this final awful act, he was still composed, deliberate, not frantic. Someone said even in his suicide, he did it dignified. I don't know, it's just a thought, but it makes it haunting.
It really does. And this massive gap, this irony, that's the core of why this poem sticks with you, right?
Absolutely. There's a huge, unbelievable difference between how Cory looked on the outside, how everyone saw him.
And what must have been going on inside. His inner reality, total despair.
And what's really powerful, I think, is that the poem never tells us why.
No reason given.
Nope. No backstory, no explanation for the despair. It just gives us the fact, and that forces us, the readers, to wrestle with it, to wonder.
We only see him from the outside, through their eyes. But clearly, the inside was a whole different story.
Outwardly, a huge success. Inwardly, a complete failure, in a way.
And this whole situation, this paradox, it points to some really fundamental things about being human, doesn't it? Things that still feel true.
Definitely. So what are the big takeaways? What does Robinson force us to think about?
Well, number one, right off the bat, earthly things alone cannot give happiness. Seems obvious, but...
But Cory is the perfect example. He had everything they thought guaranteed happiness. Money, status, looks, admiration.
everything.
And it wasn't enough. Something inside, his core, as you might say, was deeply wrong.
It's such a blunt reminder that, external success doesn't just magically fill you up inside.
Which leads right into the next point, I think. People we envy often have our problems, too. Maybe different ones, but problems nonetheless.
That's so true, isn't it? We look at someone's curated life, maybe on social media today, or just someone who seems to have it all. And we assume it's all perfect. We project. But this poem just rips that apart. Behind the shiny surface, everyone, no matter how lucky they seem, can be struggling.
Dealing with loneliness or despair or who knows what, we're probably more alike in our hidden struggles than our outward appearances suggest.
And maybe that leads to a third point, like, no one truly escapes some kind of despair.
Yeah, by making Cory seem so perfect, almost unreal, his ending is even more shocking.
Right.
It hammers home that even the person who seems to have won the lottery of life isn't immune. Not immune to suffering, to the dark stuff. He's elegant, mysterious, sure, but ultimately tragic because of that inner reality he couldn't escape.
And the big theme tying it all together is that classic one, appearance versus reality.
It's everywhere in literature and life. That gap between the public face and the private self, Cory just embodies it so dramatically.
Yeah. You mentioned his core earlier. What about his name? Richard Cory? Is there something there?
People have definitely thought about that. It feels intentional, doesn't it?
How so?
Well, Richard, pretty straightforward, right? Suggests rich, money, wealth.
Okay, makes sense. And Cory.
Cory, could that point to the core, the heart, the inner essence of a person?
Ah.
Interesting. The poem is saying to really know someone, you need to see their core. Not just the surface stuff, the money, the looks, the nice manners.
And in Richard Cory's case,
The richness was all external. The inner richness, the richness of the heart, maybe that's what was missing. Tragically missing.
so this huge divide between his public life and his private life, the guy walking down the street versus the guy alone at home.
Exactly. And, this isn't just some quaint observation about the 1890s. We see this disconnect all the time, maybe even more now.
How do you mean?
Well, think about hugely famous people who seem to have everything the world says you should want. Like Marilyn Monroe, maybe?
Marilyn Monroe. How did she fit?
Well, think about it. Incredible fame, money, beauty. She had everything society screams is success, right? Still an icon.
Definitely.
But from everything we hear, reports suggest she was deeply unhappy inside, struggled a lot, allegedly used drugs to cope near the end. It's that same pattern, isn't it?
Wow, yeah. The glittering exterior.
And the inner turmoil. You could probably point to lots of figures like that throughout history, unfortunately.
It really drives home that, I guess, universal truth, that real happiness, contentment.
Yeah.
It doesn't just come from outside stuff.
No, it has to come from within. Inner peace, joy from the inside, from your core, not just based on what you own or how you look or what other people think.
The townspeople thought Cory's external riches equaled internal happiness, and the poem just, brutally exposes that mistake.
So why? Why does this little poem, over 120 years old, about some guy in a fictional town, still hit so hard today?
I think because the themes are just timeless.
Yeah.
We still live in a world obsessed with appearances, right?
Oh, yeah. Social media feeds, reality TV.
We make snap judgments based on the surface, the job title, the car, the profile picture, and we absolutely fall into that trap of comparing our messy insides to someone else's polished outside.
Constantly.
It really makes you pause and think, doesn't it? Like, what do we really value? How quick are we to assume or to feel envy based on almost nothing? And what might the people around us, people we see every day, be carrying silently?
Yeah.
What assumptions do you make about the folks you pass on the metaphorical pavement?
It's a tragic poem, no doubt about it. But it's such a powerful, almost uncomfortable reminder. Appearances are deceiving. External success does not guarantee internal well-being.
Yeah. It leaves you with a lot to chew on long after you read those final lines. And the poem, it doesn't tell us what Cory was thinking, does it?
No.
But it kind of pushes us to wonder, what do you think was going through Richard Cory's mind just before? We can only guess, obviously. But just asking that question makes us look past the glitter. Try to imagine that hidden inner world.
And that effort, that trying to look deeper with some compassion. Maybe that's the most important thing the poem asks us to do.
Bye for now.
Stay lit.